Alright guys, welcome to Canvas Creation. Now we are about to start the GTO project. So got some rims wrap, got some coilovers here. So today we're gonna be doing suspension. So this is Megan Racing, it's about $700. Comes with, of course, adjuster wrenches, dampener knobs, front struts or coilovers. We got new sway bar Endlinks. We got our bushing and spacer bearings here, rear shocks, and the springs for height. Definitely recommend buying new strut mount bearing kit or bushing, whatever it's called. I believe these are the same bearings that are in here, so you may not need these. These came with them, but we'll see how to put that together later. We're gonna start with the front. So I already got that side loose. I'm gonna show you on this side. So first it's gonna be taking this plastic cap off here. This is a 24 mil nut. This is 10. So you have an open wrench. You can hold the 10 here and crank this, but I'm gonna use the impact. It's also probably easier to actually do this with the car on the ground. That way it's some weight on and keep it from spinning. But impact does it. So just back it off a little bit. We'll take it completely loose once we undo everything at the bottom. So that should be good enough. All right, so down here, first thing you want to do is start removing your brake lines and ABS. So this pops out like that. This is an aftermarket stainless steel line, so it comes out a little easier, but I think you do have to twist and then remove, because this is it's like, I don't know, hexagon shaped or something, if I can figure it out. There we go. So yeah, this one is you can't really tell, but it has flat edges in there. Not sure if you can see that. But so you have to twist it, then pull that out. Some people remove this. This is a 10 mil bolt. You can remove that if you want. I didn't remove on the other side. They gave me enough free space. You're gonna back out this, I guess it's like a camber bolt. Back that out, because if it has tension on your strut bolts, it's going to make it hard to knock these out. So back that out some. That's 8 mils. And I started by removing the sway bar end link. So I put the wrench here. This is a 14 that holds that nut down, and then get your impact or your ratchet, back that off. We can leave this end connected because we're gonna pull the whole strut out. So 14 mil, back that out. And then also, you're gonna have to remove this caliper bolt here. So remove that caliper bolt, because you can't bag this out. It's gonna hit that. So that is a 19, I believe. Let's double check here. A lot, it's 21. So remove that, 21, and don't forget to put it back in. You're gonna need that. And after that, remove these. This is a 22, so both of these are 22 mil for your strut nuts or bolts. And remove that. We're gonna back this head down to here, tap those in, and remove that. I believe that is it. Yeah. So I'll show you the other side that I got done real quick. So this side here is done. See that bolt's off. We got that bushing there that I said to replace. Got that adjuster nut out. Those two bolts. Sway bar end link is brand new in the pack, so I still left it connected to here. You see I kind of put that bolt back in there so I won't forget it. And I rested on the block. I don't really like it tight on my line, so I rested down on the block. And when you install this, guys, you're gonna have to take out both sides to get this sway bar end links to line up, because if you don't take out both sides and the other side's still in there, it'll have this at a different height than this side with the shorter coilovers. So I'm gonna get this stuff loose and come back to y'all. All right guys, now I'm back to assemble the coilover front struts. So they're usually labeled front left, front right. I couldn't find it. It may be out here somewhere, but I didn't see it. So I just kind of got the one that came out, lined it up like that, and make sure. So I got the brake and ABS mounts on the same side, and then your sway bar end link mounts on the same side. These are different sway bar end links. These will actually go in that way versus the stock ones go up. So that's that. And then you can kind of double check to this paper here, the assembly, if y'all could see that. Now you got this pack that I already cut open that comes with these 3 items. So first it'd be your, let me set this up. If it'll stay. Okay. All right. So it's the top end. So first it says you got your noise prevent cushion. So that's this black here. Adapter, which is this blue. Plastic bearing, which is this. And washer nut dampener adjustment. Washer nut dampener adjustments are separate in the bag. Now what they don't show is the mount. So that's kind of crazy. So we're gonna take this loose here. This is gonna be used to pressure mount down. You're gonna reuse your factory strut bolts in the engine bay, which sucks on company. And you're gonna go ahead and put your plastic bearing inside your new bushing, so white side down. See that correctly. Gonna take one washer off. Now notice how they are. They're the cup style washer. So bottom cup faces down. That off. This on. That's gonna seat with your spring here. You can kind of bring your boot down a little bit. That's gonna sit with your spring. Then this is gonna seat here. Then this one, so the first one's cup side down. This one's gonna be, you kind of look at your OE one if you get confused. This is gonna seat cup side up. And then you're gonna screw this on. This is a 24. You can do it by hand as far as you can get, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna use this. This is gonna rest on top like that. And the next bolt, your OE bolt, which I have here, is crimped at the top. So this goes crimp side up, and that's gonna rest on that, like that. But this is later. So, all right, so I got this torqued down. It doesn't have to be that hard. Like I said, as tight as you can get it. You'll have some exposed threads like you have here. You know, basically the same. I adjusted the height also because they were kind of almost all the way down coming out the box. So I just kind of lined these up. I got this second hole almost even with the first hole in the stock one. I'm sure it's probably gonna be too high up because this thing was elongated and had muscle truck style. So I'm probably gonna go shorter, but I'll see once I put the car on the ground. But you want to get both sides the same. So you'll break this locking nut off or loose with this top ring here with your spanner wrenches, because you want to go opposite of each other. So this needs to screw up to break from here. So that means you put this one on here and pull that way while you're pushing that way on that one. That's gonna free that up. But like I said, you want them about the same. to start off with. So I just measure from, you can measure here that distance if you want. I just measure from the inside of the shock body to the end of the housing here, and I got it pretty much about 7 centimeters. I think that's centimeters. And I'm gonna do the same to the other side. Leave it unlocked for now because you're gonna have to swivel a little bit to make sure it's lined up with your hub over there. Put it in, get that where you want it. And if you don't want to change the height anymore, you lock this back down. Then probably put it on the ground and you know, check the height again. And also you'll retighten. Once you get that top on there, you'll tighten it down with the weight of the car. So that way it'll make sure it's snug. Let me get this back in the car, do all that reverse order, and yeah. All right, so I put this in here. Kind of held the coilover from the bottom and reached around and got this stuck in here. Just put a couple threads in there to hold it. It's dangling by that. And coilover sitting here. Grab the jack, raise this up to where I need it, and you do the same thing. You wiggle these 2 bolts in there with that up there. I'm gonna go ahead and put your adjuster nut in. This is gonna have to be adjusted when you get your alignment. Of course, you need alignment after all of this, because you see it's kind of slotted. See, I got that space. It's kind of slotted. I know if I'm lowering it, you will get more camber, more negative camber, which will point it that way. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and put that bolt in and max it out back this way, because I know it's gonna be fighting when it get lower. But of course, you should get alignment to have that recheck. What else? Oh, so now we can go ahead and I just put the nuts in there. I mean the bolts in there, and then jack it up a little bit more to push up on the coilover. So that's why I have that extra space now at the top. So I'm gonna get my my wrench and Allen now, so that'll go over like that, and then this will go here. So I'm gonna hold that down, tighten that up. You'll do even more with the vehicle on the ground, make sure. But I'm gonna do that. Go ahead and put everything here back how you had it. So that goes here. And actually, before you tighten that down, it might be easy to go ahead and put the sway bar Endlinks in. That way, you got some play with that kind of already being loose. So I might go ahead and do that next. That goes like that. Remember, this is U-shaped, so it's gonna be weird to get it in there. But you're gonna get it in there and kind of twist it and kind of lock it in once it's in there, and that way it's locked in. So that's set. Once you get these in, don't forget to put your caliper bolt back in there. And we're gonna tighten those down. I don't know the torque spec. I usually just put suspension pretty much tight as I can get it with my breaker bar. But I'm sure there's a torque spec. I'll find it, post on the video. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of max this out with that adjuster wrench and then tighten it down. All right, so unless I'm blind, none of these parts say left or right. Sway bar Endlinks nor the coilovers. So I put this one in basically how the old one came out. The old one was facing, the nut was facing that side. So whichever one I got to work facing that side. So the other one would be like this on the other side. So I don't know why, but they don't say it. And as far as tightening these up, they also don't have the ring nut, the nut on the inside the sway bar, but it is a 5mm Allen on the inside. So you just put your Allen in there, if I can get it. And then you put your, well, I guess first you put your adjustable wrench on, or you can slide it over. It was a 17, so you put your 17 on that, and your Allen, and tighten that down. Did that for top and bottom. Now as far as tighten everything up, I basically put a load on the suspension on the rotor until the spring compressed just a little bit, and then that pressed up this. So I got that down as far as I could, again with the Allen on here and 24 mil. Make sure the crimp, I don't know if y'all can see it, this nut is crimped. Make sure that crimp side is upward. That's gonna bite into the thread, keep it from backing off. So I did that, you know, about times I can get on. Once I lower the car, I'll you know, tighten that some more. And then here, with that load on here, putting the load on the rotor pushes the knuckle inward like that. So once I had those bolts, these two bolts in there, that pushed it inward. And then I put these on a little snug, both of them a little snug, and then I put my adjuster in there. The reason I did that is because first I was gonna go ahead and kind of push it out to go ahead and expect for negative camber, that I would need to push it back out when I get it online. But the thing that's weird is I feel like it's easier to screw this in during the alignment to pull this out, because if I have to undo this, I would have to then hammer it in to try to get it, which I'm just making it easier for them. Either way, they can loosen up and hammer it in, then tighten it back or whatever. But I feel like it was easier just to set it with load, push it in a little bit, so then they get it adjusted. All they gotta do is screw that in to push it back out versus having to go back and forth. So then that with that can apply pressure to push it out, because they're gonna loosen these bolts up a little bit, and then they're gonna push that in to change the camber. But I mean, that's their job, but I'm trying to make it easier. Now to the back. Back is fairly easy, well, at least so far. So I have to do the springs, but first I did the shocks. So this bolt is threaded into the control or to the knuckle, and this bolt is a 21. So I was able to use the impact on this one. It came right out. The other one had to put a breaker bar on. I didn't take it all the way out because once you get to the top, you kind of want, you know, something still holding shock in. So I backed out this 21, backed out that 21, and then for the top of the strut, you're gonna take out your liner. So first you take out your bottom that's covering your spare, and then the back, that's gonna be just multiple push pins. You can see here, you know, there's numerous of them. I don't know how many. It's just these little or kind of wide push pins here. Pull all those out, either use a flat head or your fingernail screw. That comes out, and then the side ones come out. So there were a few on the body that you pull out, and then you have one here and here, and same on both sides. Pull those out, and then you can pull that carpet out. But now to the strut mount. So you got this flat portion here to hold it. So you're gonna put your adjustable wrench on that. Y'all can see, put your adjustable wrench on that. That's gonna hold it down, and just get a 16 and twist all the way off. Keep doing that till that drops out. Like I said, I got the bolt still in so it won't fall out, but hold the top, screw that out. Now this is the difficult side. You have your gas filler neck on this side in the way. You can't even see it, like it's in there though. Bam. But it's the same concept. So for me, I just kind of climbed in the trunk. I just climbed in here. So every time it can be done, you have to kind of put one hand over the filler neck with the crescent or the adjustable wrench to hold it, and then your other one down here with your ratchet wrench, and you can crank it. It's doable. Just take some time. You can still get it off. You can still get it, you know, back torqued down tight. But I laid in here, and I was able to. I lay it in here, and I was able to get to it. So same concept, but just a little bit harder. So I'm gonna get these two out, and then move on to the springs. Alright, so I got the shocks out. It wasn't hard at all. Spray a little PVC blaster around. You can kind of wiggle it around or get a bar and pry it out. Probably shouldn't beat on it. I mean, I guess you're replacing it, so it don't matter, but it gets kind of wedged in there a little bit. But PVC blaster, and just kind of, I just kind of kept rocking it to get it out. Yeah, so now the springs, but I jumped on it, tried to press down. I don't have enough clearance to get these springs out. The coilover springs should be shorter, so getting them in shouldn't be a problem, but my I think my sway bar is hitting this toe arm here. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop one bolt from each sway bar, and then see if I have enough clearance. If not, I'll go to the store and grab a spring compressor and compress it and pull it out. But fairly easy. I mean, this side is a 13, so you just hold that and then you get your 14, the size of 14. Oh, maybe it's a 13. Okay, let's see. Yeah, all right, they're both 13, sorry. So get your two 13s on there and take that out and then see if I got enough clearance. If not, I'll go rent a spring compressor from AutoZone and we'll be back. All right guys, now for this rear spring, I tried the zip tie method, which I do not recommend. Don't do that. It's not gonna work. It's dangerous, it could break. And I did some Googling and realized I still have my e-brake up. So releasing your e-brake gives you a lot more room. I had my e-brake up when I jacked the car up, so it had tension on the whole knuckle. So of course, like I said, put a little tension on the rotor to lift it up and get that sway bar end link out. Oh, and then lower her back down, and got a lot more clearance now that I've done that. And you could honestly have someone stand on it, or you can press down hard enough, you can get it out. The other side wasn't that easy. So what I did end up doing, which I was gonna show y'all, but that came out easy, was I put the pry bar underneath the spring and pried it up over that edge, and it popped right out. But yeah, e-brake was the trick. I sat here and fought this for like 40 minutes yesterday. Went to AutoZone, got spring compressor, didn't really have enough room to get it in here. Googled some stuff and it was like, yeah, make sure e-brakes is released. So I did that and got a lot more clearance. So the new ones are much shorter, of course, and they're pretty straightforward to put in. They're here, and I'm not sure if it matters. As far as one side up or down, but I'm gonna put my I'm gonna put the height adjustment up. Down, because I just feel like that makes the most sense. I don't know. And then you just get this guy back in here. Now, you may not have to use these. I'm gonna use them just because I got them. You may not have to. Push it back in there, and you kind of force it in there. You may have to press back down on this to get some clearance, get someone to stand on it. But press back down on that, put that in there, and jog it back up a little bit, get your sway bar end links back in, and then we'll move on to the shock. But this is pretty easy. Like I'm gonna leave it the height that it was set from the manufacturer, and I do think, to me, it makes sense to put it at the bottom. Not sure if it matters, but yeah. I got the spring kind of in there. You want to position it like that. The shock, I started the bolt. It doesn't say left or right or which way this goes. So I started the bolt just a little bit, and then you see it's a little off. I mean, you can kind of line it up, but I'm gonna leave it loose like that so I can line it up. And I'm gonna jack up here until I get enough threads through there. I almost forgot, you're gonna need both of your old bushings, so you gotta put this, unless you got new ones, your old bushing on there first, because if not, it's just gonna go all the way up in the trunk and that stop, which I just figured out. But yeah, that goes on there. Make sure you put it in the right orientation, and then the one goes on top that you took off. Now for the shock tops, I got the jack under the rotor in order to, well, first start the bolt. Got it in there, a decent amount started. And then that too tight, so you need to wiggle this around, so as you jack this up, you could align that into your hole. Don't forget your bushing. And as you jack up, make sure you go ahead and line your springs up, because they kind of go with an angle. So line that up. And once you compress your shock just a little bit, that way it has your nose all the way up, you have your threads going through. And this bolt is a 14. It uses a 5mm Allen again to hold it steady. I don't have any short ones, so I got this long one only. But I use a Allen socket, and basically I just twist it, and keep it pressed against that. Because with it being all this thread, I'm gonna have to use one hand to kind of hold it and keep it steady, and then the other hand to crank it, of course. So that kind of rests against that as I crank it. And once I get it nice and tight, bag this off and hold it, and hold both to torque it. Other side is exact same, just less room over there, so I showed you on this side. But do that. Make sure you push your sway bar Endlinks back in, put those 13mm back in. You could kind of rotate the sway bar a little bit to get it, where you want it. After that, we're gonna put the wheels on, lower her down, and see how high or how low she is. Of course, it takes time to settle, but I want to try to get a little even. I'm not gonna go too crazy with it because I still got to do the wide body, the tires, the rims, so it's gonna be all readjusted to fit that. But I at least want to get it a little even so I can drive a little bit and let it settle. I'm gonna get this on, and we'll get the wheels on, and we're gonna see how it looks on the ground. Also, don't forget your dampener adjustments. For the back, they have this collar that's threaded on the inside. I don't know why the fronts aren't like that, but you just put her on there. Don't force it down, let it kind of fall in and seat. Here it is, and you hear it snap, and then twist your collar on first. And once that's locked in, you can now do your adjustments. I'm gonna go full soft because I want the seal be kind of like OE-ish. I just need to really be able to lower it for the wide body kit and wheel fitment. So 15 clicks. Yep, now I'm full soft. I'm gonna leave that on there. For the fronts, they just, oh shit. For the fronts, they just sit in there instead of having a locking collar like that. So I don't know why they don't, but you can leave them in there, sitting in front, or keep one in your, I don't know, the glove box or something. Also, you want to, just in case for these sway bars, because these sway bar Endlinks, just because I'm not 100% certain with them, you want to turn your wheel full lock left and right before you put the car on the ground. That way you can double check, make sure it's not binding up.
Waiting for pairing. Paired.
Thanks. So that one looks alright. Let me double check the other side. I guess that's okay. It's not touching anything. But yeah, just make sure it's not touching anything or locking up. Do it both ways, double check, and that's it. Alright guys, it actually came out pretty even. Pretty good height off the start. I get three tips, and well, 2 full fingers in the back. Same in the front, it's a little room here. Yeah, so actually out the box, they are pretty even. I didn't adjust, well, I did adjust a little higher, I forgot. The front I did even out to about 7, I think it was 7 centimeters or something from the shock body. But I'm gonna ride like this for a minute. I may have to raise it only because of my headers, we'll see. But right now, you know, it has to settle and everything. I'm gonna have to redo the height once I do the wide body and new rim and tire package. So I'm gonna ride this for a couple days, let it settle, get in alignment, see how it looks. Don't forget, take off your adjusters and make sure these are tight now that the car's on the ground. Yeah, double check all that stuff and take first spin. Alright guys, thanks for watching Camel's Creations, and hopefully we will have this wide body done soon and everything. It's kind of late now, but hope everything's done soon. Thanks for watching the project. Appreciate the love, support, subscriptions, all that. Peace.